sexy bitches? My name is Sterling, and welcome to the channel. This is where I like to read some of the best and most upvoted stories on Reddit. And today we're going to be getting into some Tales from Tech Support. This is where OP gets a hug from an executive for finding long-lost photos of their dead son. Hugely emotional. And another one where OP is transferred within his own company and the whole music is porno. And a dude walks into a cell phone business and tries to get the tech there to commit a federal crime. Holy fuck. Let's just dig in. Our first story is by Gigabyte898. No sir, I can't show you how to commit a federal crime. The repair company I work at is a small business and has 2 locations, one of which is in an interesting area. As such, we get a lot of interesting people. This guy came in yesterday. Hi, can you show me how to access someone's text messages? I found some tutorials on YouTube, but they didn't work. I assume he wants to back up the messages, so I start walking him through how to sync his phone. No. I want someone else's messages. Wait, this isn't a device you own? No. Do you have consent from the owner to read their messages? No. That's why I need you to show me how to see them. Sir, if you don't have permission from the other person to read their messages, it's illegal to access them. I can't show you how to do that here. Well, do you know anywhere else that can? No, sir. I'm not aware of any other repair shops that can help you do that. It's a federal crime. I can pull up the relevant laws regarding unauthorized access to someone's personal device if you'd like. Cue standard rant of, you guys are supposed to be the experts, as I stare blankly into the distance, losing more faith in humanity. You know, it's only a crime if you get caught. Do not take that as advice. Our next story is by Nickerson. Check your hold music. This one still makes me giggle. Back in the early 2000s, before 9/11, I worked as a tech support for a construction agency. It was a job, and by tech aspects, it wasn't bad. But we had offices all over the country, USA. One day, I needed to call Las Vegas office for an issue. I route through the phone tree and get the department I need, and they put me on hold to go find the info I need. At this point, I really don't remember what I needed, but whatever. That is when the music starts. Bounce, wow, wow, moan, groan. I just about died. I'm laughing so hard that the other people in my department are looking at me. Somehow, the canned Muzak, with a K, it is a company, has been crossed with the soundtrack for the Skin Flick channel. It was Las Vegas after all. The person comes back and I am still laughing. Have you guys checked what the hold music is? No. Go listen to it for a sec. I'm still fighting laughter at this point. The very confused tech person, okay, puts me on hold and more raunchy Skin Flick soundtracks and moans. A minute later, oh my god! That sets off another round of laughter in me. You might want to get that fixed. I did call back a week later, and amazingly it was the normal canned music. Oh, Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Isn't that what they say? This story is by Deleted. The hug heard around the company. I was thrust a laptop by an angry exec this morning with him complaining that his laptop had locked up again. Normally, we have a ticket system in place for any and all tech issues. However, when an exec wants something, he bypasses this system because rank has its privilege. So, I go through the normal routine of diagnosing, and through my efforts, I see that the issue is simply bad RAM. I replace the RAM and take the unit back to the exec. He tells me he refuses to take the unit unless I have made 100% sure that everything that was wrong with it is fixed. Internally, I wanted to punch this man, but I held it in and simply asked him what other issues he'd been having and pulled out a notepad. He ran through a load of issues that all screamed, "Just run fucking cleaner," to me, and I took his unit back to my desk. After going through and cleaning out installed programs used literally once and never again, and cleaning out junk data, I found that a folder in his roaming was reading 12 gigabytes, but was hidden. I log in with my creds and enable viewing hidden or protected files, and I see that the hidden folder was from 2014. Basically, it looked to be just a bunch of pictures and to be a temp folder created by one of the old programs I removed. Some kind of picture manager or some such. Normally, when we see personal pictures on the machine, we are supposed to delete them immediately. Now, no one ever does this, as we're not that big of dicks in the IT department. Plus, this guy was an exec, so I decided to just move the pictures to his desktop under a folder I created called Old Pics. I took the laptop to him and informed him of the pics, telling him I left it up to him if he wanted them deleted or not. He thanked me for my time, and I went back to work. About an hour later, him and his wife, who had come up to join him for lunch, came over to my desk. He seemed very happy, and she was crying. Now, normally, when I have nothing to do and my boss comes over, I stand up to greet them, just the way I was raised, I guess. I was not prepared for what followed and was totally shocked by the outcome. The lady wanted to thank me for finding the pictures, and the exec reached out to shake my hand, thanking me profusely before pulling me into a hug in front of the entire IT department. I awkwardly hugged him back, and he let me go embarrassed. My eyes are wide, flabbergasted, and totally unprepared for this extremely out of character moment from this guy. Barely able to hold back tears, his wife tells me that the pictures I recovered were thought to be lost. In 2012, their 4-year-old son had died of leukemia, and the pictures I recovered were taken right before their diagnosis at 3 years of age. Because of a house fire a few years ago, they thought they lost every last photo of their son. Apparently, those were the photos that I had recovered. His wife reached out to me, and everyone in the IT department stared at their screens hard with puffy eyes, as they were all not expecting this kind of emotional event today. My boss came out of his office to personally thank me and forwarded an email chain to me ahead of the company-wide email that the CEO sent out, basically retelling the tale while naming me personally. He threw in words about striving for excellence and the unexpected results of everyday excellence. I had to turn off my Skype for business as the attaboys kept coming in one after another. My boss told me to take my lunch early since the flood of messages was making it hard to do my job. Wow! I got so choked up at the end, like you're seeing the finished edited results that I was like tearing up here. I had to take a minute. That hit me hard. Damn, OP, good for you for finding them pictures. You're in the boss's good books forever. Our last story is by Marino Jesse. This one's a simple one, but I can't get it out of my head. I work in a store that offers technical support for customer level technology. A few days ago, I had an elderly man, we'll call him Pete. A receptionist made him a walk-in appointment earlier that day, and I ended up taking it. When I opened it up, the only notes I saw were third-party software, hard of hearing. I walked up to Pete and greeted him, saw that he was staring at my lips as to read them. Then I asked if he knew American Sign Language. I've been trying to learn ASL for a short time as a side hobby for a few months now. Pete signs yes, and we continue the conversation in Sign. Turns out the issues with Skype, which keeps crashing on his roughly 5-year-old tablet, and he's been having difficulty video calling his wife, who is deaf. She lives in a different continent. She traveled there for a temporary work opportunity and would be there for 2 years. This being the midway point, it's now been 1 year since Pete's seen his wife. Skype is the only way that they both know how to communicate efficiently long distance, as neither are comfortable with email or text-based services. As I go through verifying that he knows his passwords and making sure that there's a backup of his device, Pete and I are signing back and forth and his face completely lights up. I feel so good to be able to, albeit slowly, speaking with him in his language and giving him the time he deserved, even if the reason for visiting us has little to do with our physical product. Once everything was verified and backed up, I uninstalled Skype and reinstalled it. I had Pete sign in and use Skype's test call to ensure that it wouldn't crash, as it would immediately upon call creation before. Test call went through fine. Sweet. I looked down to write a few extra notes and began to hear some coughs. I looked up and there was Pete, crying while waving to his wife through Skype. Pete called her and she picked up. He introduced me to her and told me that it had been 3 weeks since they'd heard from each other. I stepped away to give them a moment alone. It's moments like these that keep me going as a technician. Even though I barely touched Pete's tablet, fixing it made me feel like a hero. It's been a few days and I still can see his smile. That is one of the most adorable and heartwarming stories I think I've ever heard. Like, that just got me right in the feels, you know? That was r/TalesFromTechSupport. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to see more videos. Later, everyone.
Neverfeesten. Wel, we gaan er vandaag vanuit dat dat evenementen zijn die terug zullen kunnen doen.